In the studio here with us, we have the Omtata of Meru. His name is Thuranira Salesio. Thuranira is a private human rights defender from Meru County. He joins us in Kenya's biggest conversation. Good morning, Thuranira.
Good morning, Eric.
Thank you very much for joining us. Karibu sana to Nairobi from Meru. You traveled from Meru this morning?
Yes, sir.
You know, I was telling City earlier, in the entire Mount Kenya, the farthest part of Mount Kenya is Meru.
Why? Why?
If you want to ask somebody how far did you go?
Yes.
Ulienda Meru.
If
you send someone and they take so long, ulienda Meru.
I think if you look at the origins of the proverb, you see, most areas around, say, the mountain region, you can walk within, say, a day or so. Meru, if you're walking, or going by the old means, it may take you a bit of time before you get there. So it seemed far.
It seems far.
Yes, it does.
They say, so this gentleman came from Meru this morning. Umetoka mbali.
Karibu sana.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
We appreciate your presence in the studio.
Why
do they call you the Omtata of Meru?
Because of being a public litigant on most matters touching on governance and human rights in the county. Mm-hmm. It's a job I began in 2015.
It's a job?
Yeah.
Since 2015?
2015.
So what is it that you've been doing?
I've been checking the government as a public citizen, whereby they have been failing in applying the rule of law. I've been taking various steps and also agitating so that they can be able to do their right job. Some of human rights violations also. I've also been checking on them in corroboration with constitutional bodies such as Ombudsman, IPOA, and also the police.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, which is the biggest case that you've taken so far? I mean, a matter that you've seen, this is of great public interest, and the government is not doing what it ought to be doing. And as an active private rights defender, I'm going to take this head on.
The biggest case that I've ever taken was the Political Parties Act, if you remember, in April this year, when I petitioned on that act. Katiba Institute came on board, Africa came on board, and the petition was consolidated into one, I being the main petitioner. Although we never won that case, there are some sections that the High Court, ruled unconstitutional. And if you remember very well, during the inaugural of the Parliament, the Speaker said that that is one of the acts that they need to relook at and align it with the Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm reading something here where you say, I, the undersigned Thuranira Salesio Mutuma, a male adult of sound mind.
As opposed to be a male not of sound mind. Yes.
A male adult of sound mind, of ID number this and that, and a private human rights defender, as well as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya and resident of Meru County, draw the attention of the Honorable House of the Assembly of Meru County to the following. And you now, this is a petition to the County Assembly of Meru pursuant to Standing Order number 5, 199-1 and 202 of the County Assembly of Meru Standing Orders, to urge the Meru County Assembly to initiate impeachment proceedings against the Governor of Meru County, the Honorable Faith Kawira Mwangaza, for gross misconduct and abuse of office. Hey? You have petitioned the County Assembly of Meru,
yes, sir,
to remove a governor who's barely in office for...
How many days has she been in office, actually?
2 months.
2 months?
Yes.
Hey! Is that not a bit of a record? I mean, we normally give them a year or so, isn't it?
And there's gross abuse of office in 2 months.
Yes.
8 weeks.
Yes.
Gross abuse of office in 8 weeks.
Yes.
Where? Okay. There are charges that you've put here, and the charges, of course, will range from... There are a total of how many? Is it 9 counts or 8 counts that you've put as your charges against the governor? 6, I'm seeing. No, 5. All right?
Yeah.
You'll take us through them. So first of all, let's understand the politics of Meru.
Sure.
For everybody just to understand the politics of Meru.
Actually, we also want to understand the politics of Meru.
Yes. So we start with the governor, Faith Kawira Mwangaza.
Yes.
Many people are hearing her for the first time with what's happening in Meru now. Who is she politically? You're somebody who also, of course, who has understood her journey politically.
Surprisingly, we were born in the same location with her.
Allah.
It's known as Ontolili location in Timau Ward, Bore constituency. Faith Kawira Mwangaza ventured into politics in 2013 when she attempted to run for Bore constituency. And remember that time it was won by the youngest man by then, Gitobu Kinoti. Then from there, she ventured into media industry and opened her own media TV station. From there, she began the humanitarian work, especially of eradication of the jiggers. She won the hearts of many, and through that platform, she was able to campaign to become the second women representative of Meru County in 2017.
Right.
So she has been in parliament for the last 5 years. And when she was the women representative, day in, day out, especially during the weekend, on Saturdays and Sundays, let me say that she is sonkonized. She began the Okolea projects of giving the gumboots, mattress, blankets, and towards the end of last year, she began giving even the daily kettles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like giving free of charge. So it was Okolea project. What is this Okolea project about?
Raising the lives of the rest destitute people in the community.
Okay.
So she has been able to touch the hearts of many in the community. And that's how she was able to defeat the two giants. Governor Kiraito, the former governor, Kiraito Moronge,
and the former senator.
A former senator. And now the current CS for agriculture, Mheshimiwa Franklin Mithika Ntole. So that's Faith Kawira Mwangaza.
That's a meteoric rise.
Yeah, but before then, remember when she vied for the seat of women rep, there was somebody who had been women rep. That she also overcame that particular individual.
A lawyer.
Florence Kajuju had been a nominated MP, and then she went for women rep, right? No, she hadn't been nominated.
Yeah.
But she had been, in the public domain. She had been in the LSK.
She was in the LSK.
She was in the LSK. Then she, in 2013, went for woman rep. In 2017, faced off with Kawira Mwangaza, and Kawira beat her.
Yes.
2017, she goes up against somebody who has not lost an election since 1992.
Yeah.
She beat him. And the sitting senator, riding on a UDA wave, Mithika Linturi, beat him.
Sure.
And she was an independent.
Yes.
So would you say that she's genuinely popular on the ground?
Let me say that she's the darling of the people. Because she is able to resonate with the poor. And the majority of the voters in Meru County are not in the urban centers. They're in the villages.
Right.
And that's where she reaches them. When you see the campaign patterns of the rest, mostly they go on the tarmac. But she is able to penetrate to the most remote village. So she has been the darling of the people in the villages, unlike the other politicians.
You've said something that I've heard also from other people from Meru. The mention of the word tarmac. The others go on tarmac and she doesn't.
Yeah.
Was this a campaign message that she used?
I think
how did that come about? Because that mention of tarmac,
yes,
clearly
it features.
It features somewhere.
I think she saw a loophole. That politics is all about seeing what others are not doing, and you do it differently. And she was able to see that others are only venturing on markets and towns on the tarmac road.
Meaning where travel is easier.
Yeah. Then she takes the hard route.
Hawataki kuchoka.
Hawataki kuchoka.
Mimi nitachoka sababu yenu.
Yes.
Wewe. Now, what is this that we are seeing now? Issues again with the county assembly. she seems to have fallen off with the county assembly. What's the genesis of that?
The genesis of it, when you look at the politics of Faith Kawira Mwangaza, is that she has been a lone ranger all through. When she campaigned to become the women rep, it was her and the husband. Okay? And when she was the women rep of Meru County, during those rallies and also the Okole activities she used to venture in, she could not invite even the MCAs in their own localities, in their own wards. She never was, she wasn't even accompanied even by a single member of parliament for the last 5 years. Now, I think she's still absorbed in that nature of being a lone ranger. And she forgets now that she's a governor and she needs to resonate with everyone, despite of political differences. So she has not come out of that cocoon of working alone and working with her husband. That's the major problem.
So are you saying that even politically speaking, she doesn't align herself to any of the politicians in Meru? That there's nobody who supports her, that there's no one whom she has worked with?
If you listen to her day in, day out, she always says that it's only the husband who has always appreciated what she does politically. So putting Kawira Mwangaza in that nature, she has not been able to accept that now, being the governor, she needs to work with the Speaker of the County Assembly. Being the governor, she needs also to consult the senator. Remember, the senator is there to oversee and also to lobby for resources for the counties.
Yes.
So she has not been able to absorb them in her own structures. That's the biggest misdoing of Kawira Mwangaza.
But Thuranira, it's only been 2 months, surely.
Even if being 2 months, Eric, you know, the earlier the better. In Kimeru, we say that a tree is always a small tree.
Say it in Kimeru first.
In Kimeru, we say that mutejo komagoju munini.
Okay, now translate.
That you are able to bed the tree when it's too small to grow in whichever direction you want it to grow.
When it's supple.
Samaki mkunja angali mbichi.
When it's supple.
That's it now. So the area she is able to work with the leaders, the better. But if she lets these things escalate and prolong for a long period of time, she'll face it rough.
So she's not reached out to the leaders in the county assembly and also the senator and members of parliament and basically even opinion leaders in the county. That's what that's the political accusation.
Yes.
Now, Thuranira Salesio has written to the county assembly, petitioning the county assembly to commence impeachment proceedings against her on several grounds.
Yes.
What are these grounds that you, as a voter of Meru, have? I mean, you don't need her to consult you. You are not a senator.
And it's against somebody who comes from your constituency. Village. Ward.
Surely.
Number one, the Constitution gives each and every citizen powers. Article 1, sovereignty of the people. When you come to Article 2, Article 3, every person, every Kenyan citizen is empowered to protect the Constitution. Then, when you come to the process of impeachment, we don't have those powers. No citizen can come up and draft a motion of impeaching the governor.
It's the county assembly that
It's
does.
only the county assembly.
Right.
So we don't have that leeway. But then again, when you go and look at the County Government Acts of number 17 of 2012, section 87 and 88, they are very clear. Any citizen can petition to a county assembly.
Right.
Okay? So I saw that
So there's a door open for
there is a
you
door open
to
for
get
us
into the county
to
assembly.
get into the county assembly.
Very good.
Okay. So that's what I used. That's the door I used. And then again, the standing orders of the county assembly, number 109 and 202. So my petition is there to provoke the MCAs. Gentlemen and ladies in the house, you have a job to do. Okay?
Right.
I cannot initiate this motion, but through my motion, you can be able to pick something and initiate the process of impeaching the governor. So that's what I did.
There are people who, when they heard that there's somebody who's already petitioning for the removal of a governor, the first thing they said, isn't there a time limit? Like, can somebody get into office, get sworn in today, and immediately start impeachment proceedings? Is there no time limit in constitution, in law, in statute?
There is no time limit. Some people are talking about 18 months or 1 year and a half. And let me say that's a myth. It's a misconception. Because there is a bill that was prepared in 2018. It's called Impeachment Bill 2018. It was never taken all the stages of the parliament so that it could be assented into law by the president. So we cannot use it as a law. It cannot It cannot start the test of law anywhere.
This bill sets those dates and those timelines.
It sets the timelines. Okay? So we cannot use it because it's only a bill, it's not a law. Then when you look at the articles that set up the procedures and the factors to be considered for impeachment, it's only in our constitution, Article 181. It gives the reasons or grounds on which a governor can be impeached. But then again, those grounds and the procedures are expounded in the County Government Act, Section 33. And that's what we used. When you look at them, both, they don't give timelines.
And are we going to a break?
No.
And so what you're saying is that all these statutes that you refer to give you clarity and direction as to the threshold that you must have if you want to bring about a motion of impeachment. It also tells you in details what it is that comprises what you may refer to as loosely as the misdeeds that could lead to an impeachment.
Definitely.
Okay, you know where I'm going with this one?
Yes.
So, okay, so tell me, given this threshold, what exactly did you say the governor has done that has abrogated the law that should now bring the big wall of impeachment on her head? What has she done?
Good. I picked one of the grounds, that is gross misconduct and abuse of office.
Okay.
From Article 181. The gross misconduct, when you look at the Public Officers Act and Ethics Act, it's very clear. A holder of such an office, there is a way that one is supposed to behave.
So to carry themselves.
Yes, to carry themselves. When you look at her behavior throughout those 2 months, it has been a behavior that is very unbecoming. Let me give an example of one of the grounds I've cited there. On 19th, she was supposed to address the county assembly.
Okay.
19th of
October.
Yes.
Now, during that day, county assembly is a house of honor and a house of rules and procedures. And don't forget, she was a member of parliament.
She was.
For 5 years. So you cannot tell us that she is ignorant of what is supposed.
She knows.
She knows. But the manner in which she entered the county assembly, being supported and cheered by goons, was not an honorable way.
Okay.
That's a gross misconduct.
Wait.
It wasn't.
How did she enter the county assembly?
The rules and the procedures according to the standing orders of Meru County Assembly, when a governor or a senator is going to address the county assembly, okay, the first thing you do, you must report in the office of the speaker.
Okay.
It's laid down procedure.
Yes, it's a laid down procedure. And then again, you are received by 3 county assembly officials, the speaker, majority leader, and the minority leader.
Okay.
Then from there, you are ushered into the chambers. Okay? The procession. So when she came, she never reported to the speaker's office. She went straight to the chambers in the company of the goons.
Hold. Now, these individuals referred to as goons. How does one qualify? If I want to be a goon,
How do you dress?
Yeah, what do I do?
It's not the dressing, it's the manner in which they came. Hurling insults to the MCAs. You know, that's hooliganism. That's an honorable house.
Okay.
You don't just enter the way you want.
How is it on her if people choose to accompany, if people choose to walk behind her or drive behind her as she's going? Everybody knows
She's a popularly elected leader.
Speaker is going to the county assembly. Meru is not big. Office of Governor, county assembly. The governor is going to the county assembly.
So,
and
Eric,
people are lining the road and the streets to the county
so
assembly.
Eric, I get you. You're saying Meru is only far, but it's not big.
It's big, but not that big.
Yeah.
People can line up the streets and cheer their governor as she goes to address the county assembly, and then they move. Now, is she supposed to say,
It happens.
no,
It
stop?
happens with politicians.
Yeah.
No, the procedures, even in the National Assembly, is that you first of all report at the gate, you're registered, okay? Then you're given the visitor's tag.
This
and
is
then
now for the public.
And yeah, for the public. And then you
And
go
this
to
is
the
enforced
gallery.
by who? By the president or by the police?
Excuse?
In the National Assembly, when we see Ruto going to address,
Yes.
who enforces all those things? Is it the president himself or is it the police?
The sergeant at arms.
The sergeant at arms
Yes, sir.
of the assembly.
Of the assembly.
And the police officers?
Yes.
Not the president.
Not the president.
So in this case, Kawira Mwangaza has no role of enforcing those things that you're talking about.
But she's the one who came with them.
You know what we're trying to say here.
on foot, by the way.
Yes.
She came on foot.
She walked.
She walked.
You know what we're saying?
Yes.
You are saying she came with them. As we're saying, they came with her.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the difference.
There's a difference.
Anyway, many more grounds. Let's continue this conversation after we take a quick break. Thuranira Salesio is known as the Omtata of Meru. He's a private human rights defender. He says he's been doing this work of ensuring that human rights are observed across the country since 2015. He is a man who's petitioned the County Assembly of Meru to commence impeachment proceedings against their governor, Kawira Mwangaza, who's been in office for 2 months.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Human rights defender from Meru County, Thuranira Salesio, who's petitioning the County Assembly of Meru to commence impeachment proceedings against their governor, Kawira Mwangaza. And you've told us one of the grounds that you have is on how she conducted herself as she went to address the County Assembly.
Yeah.
Second ground.
Second ground of gross misconduct. It was, I can't remember the dates, but she had gone to a ward known as Akithe ward. Akithe ward is ward represented by the minority leader in the county assembly, Honorable Mwenda Idali. And during that public meeting, she had gone to give relief food, to issue relief food. She was forcing the minority leader to apologize in public because of the way they walked out on 19th.
So 19th October is when she was supposed to address the county assembly.
Yes.
On the 24th of October, she goes to Akithe ward in Tigania West constituency.
Yes.
And you're saying she was going to give relief food.
Sure.
And the MCA, the area MCA was present
Sure.
at this particular meeting.
Yeah.
And so she stands up and speaks and she says,
you must come and apologize
here, mbele ya watu.
mbele ya watu
Yes, I apologize for.
For having walked out of the assembly.
Okay.
And then again, when the MCA, anyway, he humbly stood up, went to the podium and picked the mic. And in the process, he said he can't apologize.
He has nothing to apologize
And then
for.
she went ahead and snatched
The
microphone from him. Then told him, go and sit down and go back in the county assembly, continue making noise. Does it go well?
I don't know.
Does it augur well, that
With what?
act?
With what?
It's
This is public decorum.
yeah.
Is it a gross abuse of office?
No. It's not an abuse of office.
What is it?
What is it?
Gross misconduct.
Is it gross misconduct?
Yeah. Then again, from there, she goes in another word. In the absence of the MCA, she had pics those who lost the seat. And then declares in public, now since your MCA doesn't want to work with me, I'll work with these ones. She appoints them. Contrary to the constitution.
What does she appoint them as?
As the area MCAs.
Wait.
But her MCAs are not appointed.
That's what she
What
said.
you're saying is her declaration amounted to an appointment.
An appointment.
But it wasn't really an appointment, was it?
You know, she made a public declaration.
So she stood in public and said, now that your MCA is not willing to work with me,
I'm going to work
he's
with
not
these
here.
others.
I'm going to
gonna
work with these ones, report to them
Kwanzia leo
on all matters of
mkijua,
development. Yes. Report to them on matters of development. Report to them on any need you need in this ward.
Oh.
What
They
did
are
the crowd
they,
say?
They are my eyes. You know, the crowd, since the people are hungry, you know the situation which is there, and they want that food. And she, you know, she does these things before issuing out the food. So they will just cheer her up,
Another
because
incident?
they want the food. Okay? So to me, that's gross misconduct.
So this is all gross misconduct.
Yeah,
How
to me.
how you're interpreting it.
Yes.
Like, you know, the way she's behaving is not in a manner that brings
Decorum to the office.
and honor
Yeah,
to
and
the
honor
office that
to
she
that
holds.
yeah, definitely.
And you're saying this is according to the Public Officer Ethics Act.
Definitely.
All right.
Then when we come to a few issues on abuse of office, she went and appointed the manager of Meru County Revenue Board. Contrary to Meru Revenue Board Act 2014, Section 6. It's very clear. Any appointment of a member to that board must be a competitive process, which means the Meru County Public Service Board must
Advertise?
the position, receive the applications, shortlist, do the interview, and then the person with the highest score, forward the name to the governor for appointment, and then the governor must forward that name to the county assembly for vetting and approval. That process was ignored.
So what did she do?
She called the gentleman, Muigai, sat with him in his office, called the media, and then said, I've appointed him as the general manager of Meru County Revenue Board.
Okay.
She flouted the law.
Did she subsequently forward the name to the county assembly?
She never did that. And the gentleman is still in office signing documents.
Is there anything
illegal.
that shows that the Meru County Public Service Board has gone through a process of recruitment of
Nothing.
a general manager for the
Nothing.
Revenue Board?
Nothing.
Has the board protested? Because the mandate is squarely theirs.
The board hasn't yet done that.
But first of all, does the board exist?
It's there.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
Fully constituted.
Fully constituted.
How is an appointment effected? Is it effected by gazettement or by announcement?
According to the Act, the only effect is after the county assembly does the vetting
Right.
to the nominee, and then a report is tabled in the county assembly,
Right.
and then the members approve.
Right.
That approval, it's the only one that gives the governor the mandate to issue an appointment letter to the nominee.
So is there anything like a gazettement
No,
of
no,
that
no.
appointment?
No.
It's what just an appointment letter.
Appointment letter on the basis of the approval of the county assembly.
So if the county assembly approves,
Yes.
but the governor does not issue an appointment letter, is that person appointed?
No,
So the appointment letter
must be there.
must be there.
Must be there.
Do you know whether this person has an appointment letter?
The only appointment this person has that I'm aware of, he is a civil servant. So he was picked from one department and then appointed as the board, as the general manager of the
Careful
board.
with the word appointment, Thuranira, because you've just said appointment is when there's an appointment letter.
I have attached.
So is there an appointment letter?
I have attached an annexure to that petition using the words of the governor herself from the press release that she gave to the media. And that's the word she used, appointment.
And yet she doesn't have the power on the mandate to actually appoint.
Yes,
It
without
is-
the approval of the county assembly.
But
Okay.
You know that approval and appointment is at the tail end. Eh?
Yes.
Yes, because it starts, first of all...
It starts with the nomination.
Yes, and then it starts with... there's a whole process that somehow was left aside and will come to the tail end.
Yes.
Yes.
Then the other thing of the abuse of office is the nomination of the county secretary, one Mr. Rufus Miriti. Still again, the County Government Act, Section 44, is very clear. Appointment of such a person to such an office must be a competitive process again. Okay? That process was ignored, and it was not vetted by the County Assembly. There is such a case in Laikipia County. She may argue that Mr. Miriti was formerly in the previous government. Today,
in what capacity was he in the previous government?
County Secretary.
He was County Secretary
Yes.
in the government of Kiraito Moronge.
Of Kiraito Moronge.
Okay.
Currently, the governor of Laikipia is facing a petition in court, and it has stopped the process of appointing his nominee to the office of the county secretary.
And what is his case?
His case is similar to the one of Kawira Mwangaza.
What are the similarities?
The similarities is that his nominee was in the previous government of Derito Moreithi, and then Irongo went and appointed him directly without undergoing that
Fresh
process.
vetting.
You know, this one I have to ask. Huh? So there is a term limit for such officers, isn't it?
Definitely, 5 years.
Yes. So the 5 years had come to an end.
Definitely.
I see.
So there should be fresh vetting.
Fresh vetting.
Okay.
So these positions don't just roll over.
No.
Let's say you are governor and you appoint me.
Yeah.
And you're appointed again. So I have to go through that process again. I don't just roll over because I worked with you.
You don't.
It's very
You
difficult.
don't.
Was that the discussion?
And then
and debate?
again, then again, I've not cut you short. Huh?
Yes.
During the vetting of Rufus Miriti, when he was appointed by Governor Kiraito Moronge, I wrote a memorandum to the Appointments Committee of the County Assembly, because Kiraito Moronge did the same mistake. Although he was not in the previous government, he was never, that position was never advertised. He was never interviewed. He was never shortlisted, but he was just merely, his name was merely presented by Governor Kiraito Moronge for a vetting to the County Assembly. And the County Assembly ignored.
He was headhunted.
Yes, ignored my memorandum. I wanted to go to court, but the shortfall of me going to court is that I wrote a memorandum without an affidavit. That's the mistake I made.
Right.
So it could not hold water in court.
But you have learned since.
Yes,
So you now make sure that you append and attach everything that is necessary.
definitely.
If you look at the previous impeachment cases that we've had against governors, look at all of them.
Yeah.
The ones that have flopped at the county assembly, the ones that have proceeded to the Senate and flopped at the Senate, the ones that have even succeeded at the Senate.
Yeah.
Some even have gone to court and
Yes.
flopped at the court.
Look at the grounds that have been presented and the thresholds.
Yeah.
And compare with this objectively. Do you think these grounds would meet that threshold?
100%. Why does an elected governor who is and she has the whole battalion of lawyers to advise her, okay, overlook these small things in law?
What I hear you to be saying, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
remember earlier on when we said, why these 2 months? And you said, there's this particular saying in Meru, when a tree is still supple, that's when you can bend it. So are you saying that what you are seeing are indicative of a larger problem if it is allowed to go unchecked? Meaning, if, this is me saying that I understand you to be saying that, so if the governor seems to be abrogating these small details, what else could she do in the future that could be harmful?
A lot of things.
Like what?
A lot of things could be harmful. For example,
Yes.
currently I'm in court. I have a petition, although we will not discuss the details of the petition
Since it's in court.
since it's in court.
Yes.
From 11th to 17th of last month, this year, they were carrying out the exercise of public participation on CIDP, County Integrated Development Plan.
Yes.
And a lot of laws were floated in the process. So we are in court to contest that. And my biggest prayer, number one, to the court is to squash the process and then order the county government to do a fresh public participation that is in line with established laws. Okay? So you see, she has already begun floating the laws without being checked.
What do you think is the cause of this? Is it for the lack of proper advice? Is it that she knows, but then she is intent on just going it and doing it her own way? What do you think?
Sonkoism.
Which is?
That's the problem. Just wanting to do things for popularity. Populism. That's the biggest problem of all the undoing of our governor, Kawira Mwangaza. Not unless she stops that and begin behaving like an administrator, like a governor, and heed the advices of the battalion of the lawyers that she has. They're also tired. We share and compare notes with them. They're also tired. Because one day she is given an advice, but she goes and does contrary to what she was advised. Yes.
What do the people think? Not the elite.
Yeah.
Not the Thuraniras and the lawyers and those others. What do the masses think?
She's right.
Do they think that she's actually moving things? Because this bureaucracy has been slowing things down. But here's the governor who gets here, here's the issue, moves.
For us, for the masses, they think that she is right. Because for her, she only wants to win the hearts of the masses. And the heart of the these masses are ignorant of what is supposed to be done.
Do you think it points a case to a review of the laws and the procedures set? Maybe the people are basically saying, the laws as they are currently written, they are an impediment to development.
They don't serve our interests.
They're not serving our interests. And maybe if the people are saying this, then it's upon now people in the county assembly to actually look and see how they can make the law work for the people. Because the governor is leading the way.
Let me say that you are correct in what you are saying. And there are two laws that I'm drafting some petitions to the county assembly for amendment. One, that is for Public Participation Act of 2016. It needs to be needs to be amended to align with the situations of the time. The other one is the Meru County Alcoholic and Drinks Act, still again I think of 2014, because there is always misuse of money. I've realized there is misuse of funds because the revenue collected by the board is never submitted according to the act, should not be submitted to the general account of the county. And
which board? The liquor licensing board.
The liquor and licensing board. And that money is used by the board the way they wish. So there is a lot of misuse of public resources.
Unchecked.
And unchecked. So, and the public is not aware of that. So I'm drafting two petitions to urge the county assembly to amend those two laws.
There's something I have to ask you.
Yeah.
This job that you do isn't really a popularity contest. When you speak about the law and you want to adhere to it, you will rub some people the wrong way.
Definitely.
Do you have people who actually support you and encourage you and work with you? And do you have people who are not particularly happy with you?
Yeah, there are those who are not happy with me, the political class. There are those who are happy with me. Those who would wish to see that things are done the right way. And I'm pleased with some organizations like Article 19. There is an organization known as Article 19. From tomorrow, they are taking me for training for 3 days. I'm also happy to state that I also enjoy support of the African Human Rights Defenders Academy. Next month, God willing, I'll be in Rwanda for 2 weeks training on the same. So I usually get support from various organizations that really stand for human rights. When it comes to those people that I hurt and rub my shoulders in ensuring that things are done the right way, let me say majorly it's the political class. There are instances I've been arrested. There are instances that my family also gets
harassed.
Which word can I use? Not threatened, but harassed. Yeah. So I face a lot of challenges. It's not easy.
How about your village, your neighbors, fellow villagers, the ordinary citizen?
Most of the ordinaries, quite a good number of them, they like what I do. Because when we get out of here, I'll show you some of evidences. They report a lot of things to me.
They tell you things.
They tell me a lot of things. And they have a lot of confidence in me because I don't expose. I keep everything in confidence.
So they consider you like a public defender?
Definitely.
Okay.
To the extent that even some cases of gender-based violence have been handled in such cases. And I ensure that such victims get justice.
Right.
Yeah. So the public has a lot of confidence in me.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work, Thuranira. Well, keep doing what you do. There are not many in the country who have basically dedicated themselves to seeing that the right thing is done.
Thank you.
And that you've set yourself up for this. Good work. And wish you all. So what's the next step now as we conclude this conversation? The petition is before the county assembly. Then what?
What I'm expecting is that during this week, according to the study on us, because before it's being received, you must take the petition to the legal team. They must ensure that is aligned with the studying on us. And then again, after that, it gets received. So when it is received, it must be tabled in the county assembly. Then the speaker must direct that petition to the relevant committee, after which the committee is given a duration of 21 days to 60 days to go and do investigations on the allegations, make a report to the assembly, then it's debated. They either pass the recommendations or reject the recommendations.
So it's still early days?
It's still early days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thuranira Salesio, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for coming to explain to us. We've been seeing these stories coming out of Meru and seeing now this private citizen is lodging an impeachment against the governor. We understand where you're coming from.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and keep up the good work.
Asante sana. Keep it here for more conversations. And well, you can reach out to Thuranira Salesio. How are you reached on social media?
Facebook, Thuranira Salesio Thuranira Mutuma. Twitter is Socrates Salesio. Instagram the same, Socrates Salesio.
Salesio.
Yeah. My email is Thuranira salemutuma@gmail.com.